Hi, y'all. Hey, how you doing today? Hope you're having a great day. I'm sitting here in the car because it's raining outside, and I don't want to go video in the rain. But I just was in the bank the other day, and heard something. Just it kind of brought home some reality to me of what's going on. And how many of you have been seeing on the TV where these auto workers are on strike, and it seems like they got just ridiculous demands, and that's fine. They got the right to strike, and they got the right to collective bargain, as long as they don't keep other people from working. That's where I draw the line. I guess when you think about it, a lot of people call me a conservative, but in a bigger way, I'm more or less a libertarian in a lot of ways, a conservative libertarian, in that I don't believe I don't believe in a whole lot of federal government rules and regulations. I think that a person ought to be pretty much left to do what they want to do, so long as they're not affecting someone else negatively. You know what I mean? I mean, if you want to sit in your basement and smoke some grass while you're playing video games, and you stay there until you're sober again, I don't have a problem with that. But when you come out on the highway and risk my life or my kid's life, then it becomes my problem, and then I want to see some laws passed about it. Okay, that's just an example. But anyway, I feel the same way about the economics of economic situations. It's always kind of irked me that these unions will get people stirred up to strike, and Katie barred the door. It don't matter what the results are. Just burn it all down. Years ago, my wife's uncle was a big believer in union and strikes and stuff. He worked for a big industrial machinery building company. He was in the UAW, and he and my father-in-law used to just get in some real knockdown dragouts, and basically because my father-in-law was self-employed, he believed a person ought to be able to fend for themselves. He believed that they ought to not be regulated out of existence. He believed that a lot of the problems we're having with inflation and such comes from overzealous strikes. And anyway, of course, his brother didn't believe that, my wife's uncle. And finally one day, my father-in-law pinned him down and he said, "Look, you've been on strike now this time for what?" I believe it was like 6 months, 9 months, 18 months, I don't know. Long time anyway. It seems to strike me that it might have been 18 months even. He said, "Now, where are you guys in the negotiations?" And at that time, this was back in the 70s, and it seemed like they were within like 15 cents an hour of agreeing on something, and they still were staying out, and they were like, months staying out for 15 cents an hour, which today would be probably the equivalent of a couple of $2 or $3 an hour. But anyway, he said, "I got a question for you." He said, "How long are you going to have to earning this extra 10 cents an hour to make up for all the money you lost on strike?" And they just sat down right then and buried the hatchet long enough to pick up a pencil, and they figured it out. It was going to be ridiculous. It was like 8 to 10 years or more before they even broke even on the strike. So it gets just plain foolish sometimes. Now, I believe that unions were originally organized for good purpose. Now, not totally. I'm sure there were nefarious ideas behind the organization of that too. Anytime a group of people gets organized where something's going to be in power, a lot of the reason for organizing it is because somebody wants the power. Amen. Now, but I do believe that there are situations where a union has saved lives. Equipment that's not safe, things of that nature. I used to work in a limestone mine, and the equipment, we were non-union, which was great because it was more flexible, but it was also very dangerous. Most of the equipment that we had was not safe to operate because there was no one to force them to repair it and to fix it right. So that's a place where a union's good, okay? Um, but they just get out of hand sometimes. You know what I mean? I mean, when you can strike for long, if you go on strike and you win the extra 10 cents an hour, and it takes you another 8 to 10 years for that 10 cents to add up to what you lost on strike, somebody's taking advantage of you, buddy. But to get to my story for today, I was in the bank the other day, and a guy come up into the cubby hole next to me, and I wasn't trying to listen in. He was talking loud, and it's a small bank, and wasn't much else, no other noise or anything. Anyway, I just heard him say something about shuffling some accounts around because he got laid off and got laid off from work. And I thought, my gosh, that's really unusual today. I wonder where he works. And they talked for a while about the thing, and they didn't know when he was going to go back to work, and so he had to set things up semi-permanently, et cetera, et cetera. And finally, he told her where he worked at. She asked him, I think, the teller, and she asked him where he worked, and he told her. And it's a local metal fabrication plant, small factory where they made. Most of their business is building these big steel garbage bins, but they also, in addition to that, they make cribbing. I'd call them cribs, we used to call. Well, I used to work in a snowmobile factory years ago, and they called them sleds. Then they were like parts carts that hung on a chain and went around the assembly line where you could put your parts in. Anyway, that's a big part of their business, is making those things for, guess who? Auto companies. So he said the fact that the UAW is on strike, trying to get their 46% wage increase and 4-day work weeks and et cetera, has put him and his guys out of business, out of work, and they're just barely squeaking by. I mean, these guys are not making that kind of money. I mean, they're starting at probably $13 to $15 an hour, and probably the highest paid worker there that's not in the office, is, I would imagine, is making less than $30 an hour. And now they're out of work because somebody else got greedy and went on strike. And how many other times around the country is this happening? I mean, it's going to affect the truckers. It's going to, and we got other unions now doing sympathetic strikes to support them. Amen. Happens every time. So you got these people going on strike because they want more, they want more, and they're cutting these other people out of work. Think about it a minute, guys. Let me just appeal to you for a minute. If you're one of those in one of those unions that's striking and it's causing this, think about the guys you're hurting that are not running your company. Think about the guys in other factories who make a third of what you do, and now they don't make anything because you needed to have 46% more income. Right now, that's all I got to say. I mean, I just wanted to bring that to your attention, wanted to share that with you, and do with it what you will. Anyway, God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time around. Bye.